Cheers, I do, buckaroos, and how the heck are you? You know who I am. Tonight, I'm Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, and I'm doing a cocktail show. So we're going to try to do this show last week, but Mr. Jersey Johnny got caught up in some traffic. But I already had my cocktails prepped, so I went ahead and did it anyway. But this is the official cocktail show with the one and only Jersey Johnny. So, Johnny, what's your first cocktail tonight?
Tonight I'm drinking. My first cocktail is an Amaro Manhattan.
Oh, okay. Oh, an Amaro Manhattan. So tell
An
me what's
Amaro
in it.
Manhattan. Okay, it's bourbon, and I actually for this one I used the rest of my current bottle of the Balcones Texas pot still bourbon.
Oh, that stuff is great, isn't it?
Yeah,
I've got a bottle of that here. Yeah, that
the
stuff
straight
is
bourbon. Yeah,
awesome.
it's fantastic. Yeah, so finish that up with the Amaro. So we got you got bourbon, you got Amaro, bitters, orange peel, and a couple of cherries.
Nice, very
They're in
nice.
there somewhere. They're there.
There they are.
They're
So,
they're there.
you've got the served straight up, then, right?
No, I got ice.
Oh, you got ice. Okay, I didn't
See,
see ice.
I have a a portable ice
Oh,
holder,
there you go.
and of course I got good stickers all over it too. Look
Oh,
at
there you go. Coastal Beer Works. There
that.
we go.
So that keeps honestly you could put ice cubes in that thing and put it out in 80-degree weather for half an hour. It's still ice cubes.
Oh, is that right? Wow.
Yeah. So I got them. So as not to water down the cocktails before I get to them. The cocktails are prepped. I just add the ice before I start drinking.
Very nice. So while you're taking a drink, I'm going to tell you what I'm drinking. So this is actually based on the recipe that you gave me about a year ago or so for the maple old fashioned. So
it's a couple years ago, actually.
Yeah, I have. It has been that long now, hasn't it? I have the Whistle Pig Piggyback 6-year-old rye. And lo and behold,
that's really good rye, by the way. That's really good
rye. But I have this. Reason I use it. I was going to originally do this with another whiskey, but then I got a great deal on this Whistle Pig maple syrup. So I've got the actual Whistle Pig maple syrup. So it's a maple syrup that's aged in Whistle Pig barrel.
Whistle Pig barrel, sure.
So I've got that going on, and I've got it. So what I have is about 3 ounces of the Whistle Pig. I got about 1 ounce of the maple syrup. I've got an orange peel and a dark cherry garnish. And what are my bitters, you might ask? Well, my bitters are black walnut bitters. I never heard of black walnut bitters until Mr. Jersey Johnny gave me that recipe. So I'm going to take a drink. While I'm doing that, you talk about the flavors in your drink.
Oh yeah, no, there's plenty of botanicals going on with the Amaro, and the bourbon's really nice. And I mean, the Texas pot still bourbon, the straight bourbon from Balcones is a delicious bourbon at the price point. It's delicious bourbon. Yeah, are there better bourbons than that? Of course, right? But for what I'm drinking it with, I've been sipping straight sometimes too, or just on one cube or whatever. But for making Manhattans, making old fashions, making a cocktails, this is a fantastic bourbon at the price point. So I recommend it. But yeah, it's got it's got all your bourbon notes. It's got nice oak. It's got some nice vanilla happening, some caramel and toffee. But you're getting like all those botanicals out of the Amaro, and the bitters round everything out. Obviously, dry it out a little bit, and the cherry and the orange peel. It's brings it all together. Right.
It does. It really does. So here's the thing. I actually that Balcones bourbon. Speaking of that, I do have a bottle here, and it is fine for neat drinking. I mean, I drink that bourbon.
Oh yeah, no, I do too. I do too. I find myself making more cocktails with it, but I definitely do drink it. I definitely do drink it neat. I do.
So originally, I was going to do this old fashioned with the Balcones rye. Because I have a bottle of the rye, but then because I had the Whistle Pig bourbon, I felt like, or the Whistle Pig maple syrup, I felt like I had to use the rye.
Of course. No, I would have too. I have one cocktail, which you're gonna like the last cocktail. It's probably gonna be the last cocktail. I have the third one I get to. I might have something. I might pour something a little straighter on the rocks afterwards. But
nice.
We'll see where we get to. But the third one you're gonna like. So
it depends on how we're feeling near.
How we're feeling, right? Of course. So I just wanted to point out, those of you, if anybody's watching this that has seen the Lager Room Guys show, I'm a merch whore, if you will, but it's not just about beer, right? I mean, Rocktown Distillery.
I just noticed that. Okay. So have you had Rocktown products?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh gosh, I love Rocktown. So there was a couple-year period where I worked for Saddleback in Springdale, Arkansas. So I would work down there during the week, and I come back to Springfield on the weekends. But usually, when I was coming back to town, I would stop at the liquor store and I pick up some Rocktown stuff. But because their products are amazing, man.
They're actually distributed in Jersey now. That's how I'm able to. Yeah, they are.
Well, what's funny about that is we're right next to Arkansas, and they're not distributed here.
That's great.
Up is that?
You got to love that. Fortunately, I was at the liquor show in Atlantic City last April, and it was the first time I actually had any Rocktown products. I spent a little extra time at that particular booth. Let's put it that way. But no, it was fantastic stuff, and
it just doesn't make sense how distribution works, does it?
It doesn't at all. It's just a luck of the draw. Where they?
How can you get this product in Jersey? I can't get it in Missouri. I'm literally right next to Arkansas.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, the network of liquor distributors that it's just the chain of how they got to Jersey. They may have an issue with getting stuff into Missouri. It's very possible they may. They might not have had it. They might. Well, no, they might not have found a distributor that they're happy with in Missouri. Or maybe
can't cross the meth belt. I mean,
well, that might be it too. So that could be an issue as well. But
we can't cross that meth belt. I don't know, but there's stuff they used. I don't know if they even still do it because it's been several years since I bought it. But they used to make this hickory smoke whiskey, which was just insane.
I didn't have any of that from a hickory smoke whiskey. I'd be all over that.
I
would be buying that by. I might even buy it by the case. I'd be all over that.
I used to tell people if Americans invented Scotch, this is what it would taste like. That hickory smoke whiskey. Oh God, it was so insane.
Agreed.
They hickory smoked the malt, and oh my Lord, it was just crazy good.
And if Americans invented Scotch, it would certainly be a lot cheaper.
It tastes better too, but anyway,
that's
an argument for another day.
That's an argument for another day. I do have. I
pissed off all my Scotch drinking friends right there.
I do have the occasional single malt here and there. It depends on what it is. It depends on what it is too. There's a couple. Not to get into. I mean, this is a bourbon and everything else show, but we are talking about cocktails. As far as that goes, there's a Scotch, Balvenie. Balvenie makes a Scotch that they finish in Caribbean spiced rum casks.
Oh, I haven't had that one.
It's ridiculously stupid good.
There was a period of time where I used to drink that double wood quite a bit. Yeah.
And of course the Macallan. It's the special. It's finished in port. For port casks. That's fantastic too. Foreshadowing a show that might happen next week.
Yeah. Is that going to be on your channel or mine? I don't think we decided that.
We can do it on yours. Let's keep the cocktails to you.
Okay, that's fine. I don't want to jump on your territory.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Right. We can do that. All right. And Samurai is going to be involved, right?
Samurai will be on that one as well.
What are we going to call him? We can't call him the Beer Samurai for that show.
He's going to be the Port Samurai, right?
Well, he probably knows more about port than I do.
Well, let's put it this way. He and I knew around the same amount of info on port. Since we started talking about the port show, right? He took it upon himself to do research and more research and a little more research. And when I say research, I mean actual research and also drinking it. So kind of both, right?
Research. You got to taste it.
You got to taste it, right? Of course. So
you have to have a focus group, even if it's just one person.
Exactly. So he's all ready. So he's gonna, when it comes to filling in info on the port. I know what I know. You know what you know. We can let him take the lead while we just sit back and sip.
That will be okay because I don't know a lot. So anyway, I know what I like, but other than that.
I got 4 ready to go. He's got 4 ready to go. He said he might even have 5 ready to go, but I'm like, I'm stopping at 4. I'm good with 4.
Hell, I'll be lucky to have 2. So anyway, we'll figure something out anyway.
Well, it depends on what we're gonna do, right? I can pour instead of pouring, 2 fingers, I'll pour 1 finger of each, that kind of a thing. So, and of course, I'm going to drink it out of a smaller chalice anyway. I'm not drinking it out of a rocks glass. So.
I've got some funky little small glasses I think I'm going to use, and I haven't showed you guys these glasses yet.
It'll be a good show, but But back to the bourbon. Yeah, Rocktown is fantastic stuff. They make
Oh
fantastic
gosh,
stuff.
they're amazing, man.
And the hickory smoked bourbon. If I can, I'm actually going to the liquor show again. It's not next week. It's the week after. It's coming up soon, in a couple weeks, maybe 3. And if they're there again, which is the same distributor, so if they're there again, I will definitely ask them about that hickory smoked bourbon.
Yeah, in fact, it was about 2014 the last I was down there in that neck of the woods, and I bought several bottles, but I drank them all since then. But that whiskey was just so insanely good. Oh gosh,
That's fantastic. So how's your old fashioned?
it is beautiful. So what I got going on here is again. So I don't. Have you had this maple syrup before?
I have. Fantastic.
So for those that haven't, I mean, it is like the very best maple syrup. But then they age in that barrel, so you get these barrel notes out of this syrup, right? So and then combined with the piggyback whiskey, which is a beautiful 6-year-old 100% rye at 96.56 proof, oddly specific. It's just so again, but for me, what pulls this drink together is those black walnut bitters.
Yeah,
There's something special about those things.
Yeah, they're so good. I just ordered another 2 bottles, and I ordered another bottle of the black cherry bitters too.
So I've got the regular cherry bitters that I use in another drink here, but I can't find I guess I'm gonna have to order them too because I can't find the black cherry in my neck of the woods. I got the cherry bitters, but not the black cherry.
If they're in and out on the site that I order them from. I'll pop on there again if I see them. I'll order you a bottle and send it to you.
I do want to say quickly, if anybody's watching, if you have any questions or comments, please put it up on the screen. We will answer anything. We don't care.
Whatever you ask, doesn't matter.
We don't get all answer anything. Screw it.
Bourbon, maple syrup, music, scotch, beer.
Music in the background, but I didn't turn it on today. We try to these particular episodes. We try not to delve into politics, but we're going to see what happens come the third cocktail.
This is true. Yeah, you can't make any promises there. So I got to tell you,
up until number 3. I'll promise you that.
There you go. I got to tell you, the orange peel, such a fresh citrus note mixing with the botanicals in the Amaro. It's just fantastic. It's if I'd smell a vision, if I could get this to you. Next time I go up to Bully Boy, because this is the Amaro that I'm using too. You've seen it before. I showed it when we've gotten together. Is the Bully Boy Rabarbaro Amaro from Bully Boy? Yeah, it's fantastic.
For those watching that aren't familiar with Amaro, you want to explain, about what that is?
Sure. It's a dark liqueur. It's made with botanicals. It's it's
herbal and botanical.
Very herbal, very botanical. It's in the family with Aperol and Campari and all of those herbal botanical bitter liqueurs. And most of them are used for mixing, right? But Amaro, especially Campari and Campari and a Negroni, right? Aperol and certain things. In fact, this particular cocktail I'm having here, the Amaro Manhattan, I've heard it called. I've actually heard it referred to as a busted pipe.
Oh, yes. So I've actually looked up a recipe for the busted pipe. Well, I didn't look up that recipe. I was looking up recipes for other things, and the busted pipe came. So a few, cocktail shows ago, I did a version of a busted pipe. Yeah.
Right. It's
using my cafe.
The Amaro, right? Yeah.
Amaro, yeah.
And then the other one that people will say too is a paper plane, but this is a paper plane. But it's missing the Aperol. You got to put Aperol in it too. It's bourbon, Amaro, and Aperol. But
that's why when I usually say what I'm drinking, I usually say it's a version of, because it may not be exactly what you think it is, but I use kind of that as a template to make my cocktail.
A cocktail is what you want it to be, right? A cocktail is what it's all about. You can go out and have a cocktail from an amazing mixologist and taste it and have it be delicious, but miss something. You're missing in your mind and your taste buds. You're missing something. You go home and you make it, you recreate it. Of course, the first time you do it's not going to be as good as the one he did, right? Or they did, she did, whatever. But then you do it a couple more times, then you find out what it is. You add that thing in. Now you have a new cocktail, but it was based on that. So it's that's what I love about cocktails. It's what you want. It's what you want out of it. Like
That's it.
Clearly,
Yeah.
clearly, this Amaro Manhattan. I personally pour a little bit more Amaro in. It's like 2-to-1. A standard recipe for an Amaro Manhattan calls for 2-to-1 bourbon to Amaro. I do 1-to-1.
1-to-1.
But
Okay.
or 2-to-2 actually, because I made it a little bit bigger. But I do equal parts because I love this particular Amaro. It might be a little less than, it might be like 1.5-to-1 bourbon to Amaro. I probably have a little bit more bourbon than Amaro in this, but I definitely have more Amaro than the recipe would call for.
Oh, very
a
nice.
little bit more. Just
Well, I know
markedly
you've
more.
heard me say this like a million times by now, but I tell folks, cocktail recipes were not handed down from God to Moses. They're not etched on stone tablets.
Right.
People will say, you have to make it exactly this way. No, you do not.
Mm-mm.
These are recipes, they're guidelines. Make the cocktail any way you want to.
Exactly. That's all you have to do. Tweak it, have fun with it. Do it differently next time. Change it up a little bit. See what you like better. You'll stumble upon something that you love even more, and before you know it, if you keep experimenting, you wind up with a completely different cocktail. Then you can go back to the first one and start again.
That's why I tell people, I say I rarely make anything the same way twice. I like to kind of monkey with stuff.
Exactly. I got to send you this link. I might have talked to you about it before. I might have said something about it before to you, but let me go back to it and find him. Hold on a second here. It's here. Yeah, it's called the Thirsty Well on Thirsty Well on Instagram. He's a mixologist. He makes some of the most incredible cocktails. I've tried a bunch that he's done. I'll send you the link on your Instagram.
Nice.
I would love to get in touch with this guy. He's got tons. I mean, his I don't want to bring it up here, but let me just look at his Instagram. He's got 169,000 followers on his Instagram, right? He's from New England. He definitely is involved to some degree with Bully Boy, because he uses a lot. He's from New England on his Instagram. That means Boston, and he definitely uses a lot of Bully Boy products on his stuff. But his Instagram is full of recipes, and him actually makes, and he shows you everything he does. One thing that he does stress, and I'll stress it too, squeeze your own citrus. If you're putting citrus in a cocktail, squeeze your own. You need lime juice, squeeze a lime. Don't get Rose's lime juice. Squeeze your.
I do agree with that. I do the same thing here. Yeah. It's all about fresh, right?
It's fresh. The fresher, the better, because that's what I said. Like the fresh notes, and it's all about the flavor, but it's all about the aroma too. You get those fresh, especially with citrus, like this orange slice. I put this in here right before we started the show.
Yeah,
the other two are going to be sitting. The other two are going to be sitting in those a while, but this one went in literally right before we started the show. Put the ice cubes in, started drinking. So
same thing with this orange peel you see here. I just carved it right off the orange. Just
pulled it right off, and yeah, exactly.
So that's why you were ready, and I was took me a minute to get because I was getting that orange ready.
Oh yeah, all good. So this is fantastic. I'm just
but other than presentation, it does add a lot to the aromatics to the cocktail, right?
Huge to the aromatics, absolutely, and not.
In this one here, I've got those black walnut bitters, which are very aromatic, but combined with that fresh, the fresh oils of that orange peel, it just makes it insane.
Absolutely, it's so good.
What a lot of folks don't realize, a cocktail isn't about just drinking the cocktail; it's about the whole thing, right? It's about the presentation. It's about how it looks. It's about the aromatics, and then it's about the taste. But everything comes together. That's what makes a great cocktail.
Absolutely. It's everything you just mentioned. Because the first thing you're going to do is you're going to look at it, right? First thing you're going to do is you're going to see it. Now, if you make it yourself, all right, there's a little less probably, emphasis that you need to put on the presentation.
Oh no, I admire my work.
Oh no. You don't. I'm just saying. Obviously, the presentation factor is much more important when you're being served a cocktail.
That's right. Yeah.
Then you're making it yourself. It's important to me too. When you're making it myself, I want it to look good for myself as well.
That's a free drink.
Exactly. I'll take a picture. I make a really pretty drink. I'll take a picture of the damn thing.
Oh, absolutely.
but whatchamacallit? Yeah, first it's presentation, then it's the aroma, then it's the flavor. So it's everything. They're
It
all
all
they're
comes
all as
together.
important
Yeah.
as the next. Absolutely.
If you're drinking a cocktail just to catch a buzz, well, you're missing the whole point.
You're missing the whole point. Just have a shot in a beer, and
Yeah.
and not even a good beer, because beer is the same thing. It's to a point. It's presentation with the beer too. It's how it's poured. It's how big the head is. It's what vessel it's in, what glass it's in, glassware you're using. Proper glassware is super important for beer, and it's the aroma and the flavor and everything of it too. I mean, I've said it before. You've heard me say it. There's beers that I'll have out, eat some at home too, but there's beers that I'll have out, I'll order out, that are just fantastically rare beers or whatever, and especially the barrel aged ones. But anyway, ones with noses on them, the aroma that's so incredible. I will sit there for 10-15 minutes just smelling the damn thing before I even take a sip. I just want the aroma. I just want to order beer to smell it. That's it.
I once had a bartender ask me, "Are you ever going to drink that?" Yeah, eventually. I mean, I paid for the beer. What do you care? How?
What do you care? I'll get there. I'll get there.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Because I kept picking it up. I do this. I set it back down. I wait about 5 minutes. I talk to folks. I do this again. Are you going to drink the beer eventually? Yeah.
And it's
Are you in a hurry?
Right.
I mean, are you getting paid per beer? I mean, what the hell?
Right. Well, he wants you to order another one so you get another $2 for a tip.
And I would, but but yeah, it's about the whole experience, right?
Absolutely, and that's just it. I'll smell it. I mean, obviously, my guess is that there's not a whole hell of a lot of macro beer drinkers watching this right now.
No.
All right.
They don't like me much.
Yeah, I was going to say. To them, you don't want to spend too much time smelling the beer. One, you're not going to get any aroma. All right, and two, you need to drink it cold, because then
very cold, very
cold, very fast. So you just get it down. So that's about it. Funnily enough, I'm going to throw this out to you. I actually had this, and I grabbed a can of this. I would just throw this in there really quick. It's beer, but last Saturday, a bunch of us took a ride out to the oldest brewery in America.
Oh, really? Wow.
That would be Yuengling.
Uh-huh.
Yuengling Brewing. It's in Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
We can now get them in Missouri.
You can now get them in Missouri, yes. And whatchamacallit, they've been around in another 6 years. In 2029, they will be celebrating their 200th anniversary. They'll be 200 years old. The owner right now is Dick Yuengling, and he it's been passed down generation to generation, still family owned. And they're considered a craft beer. Like, the Brewers Association considers Yuengling a craft beer. Considers
really?
the part.
I don't know that I would, but okay.
I don't know. Well, you know what? They don't, because they don't use adjuncts and they don't make adjuncted American light lagers. They use corn as a base.
Their amber lager does have some adjunct.
Yeah, no, it's corn. Corn's the adjunct. There's no rice in it, which makes them rice is, I guess, the key to making them a macro, right?
Okay.
But
I'm not sure corn is better, but okay.
I'm not sure it is either. But you know what? I will tell you, I've had, in the last maybe month, I've had 2 or 3 cream ales that were brewed with heirloom corn. Fantastic.
Well, see, that's the thing, though. It's not about the adjunct themselves. It's about the quality of
quality.
How they're used.
Right, of course.
So we've got a brewery not far from me called Piney River. They make a cream ale every once in a while, and it's incredible because they use flaked corn.
Right.
And it's how much adjunct hardly in it. It's how they're used and the quality of it.
Right. Yeah, it's fantastic. But I was going to say,
for a minute, I'm going to get my second cocktail.
You got it. Your mic seems to be cutting out a little bit, so.
That's because the ice machine just turned on.
Oh, I got you. Okay. So, so just to let everybody know, yeah, I had a few of their beers that they don't distribute outside of Pennsylvania, or even outside of the area that the brewery is actually in. But their porter is actually pretty damn good. It was I've had it before, but it's been years since I had it. But yeah, it's pretty tasty. Now, I'm not going to sit here and compare it to a very well done porter by a local craft brewery, or even a bigger craft brewery, or anything by any means. Like, I'm not comparing it to Founders Porter. Founders Porter is better than Yuengling Porter. All right. Yeah, there's no comparison, right? But for a brewery of that scale that, sends beer all over the states, um, granted, I think the Brewers Association, last I checked, in fact, I'm going to pull it up while we're talking, but last I checked, the number one distributed craft brand, according to the Brewers Association in America, is Sam Adams, right?
Oh, really? Okay.
The number two is Yingling. And number three is Sierra Nevada. Sierra Nevada's number three. I
Well,
believe.
that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, and I believe New Belgium's number four, and on from there. I'm actually I'll pull that up in a minute, but yeah, the one I was going to tell you though, they stopped years ago. They used to make up a Bach, and it was really good. It was very well done. They stopped making it.
Oh, they did. Oh no.
Yeah, they stopped making it probably about eight years ago. They stopped making it. Shame, but anyway, back to bourbon.
So here's what I got here. I'm going to change. So we're talking about bourbons and rye and various other things. So several years ago, I did. So every once in a while, I like a martini. But when I have a martini, I like a dirty martini. And I prefer vodka to gin.
I prefer gin to vodka, but I'm with you on the dirty part.
but when I started experimenting and using, like, say, moonshine like products, I found I prefer that to either. But then when I started experimenting with other things, started experimenting with ryes and bourbons. So several years ago, I did this cocktail with Rare Breed Wild Turkey, making a dirty martini out of it. I called it a Dirty Bird.
Nice.
So in this instance, I'm going to use a very good single malt Irish whiskey that I haven't even opened yet. I'm going to call it a Dirty Irishman.
Dirty Irishman, very nice.
So what I have here is Hyde single malt Irish whiskey at 92 proof. This is a rum finish. And I haven't even, so usually before I do a cocktail, I always taste the whiskey first, and I'm not going to this time. Okay. I'm going to open this whiskey with you for the very first time. Oh, I didn't even crack the seal yet, though. There we go. Might take me a minute to get that there.
How about it?
You keep talking while I get my seal cracked.
I'm going to put my ice in my second cocktail.
I thought I had that ready.
I love doing that.
Arthritis is a bitch as you get older.
I'm right with you. My wrists are right there. So.
Oh, yeah. Between arthritis and carpal tunnel. There we go. I should have opened that up first, but I left it that way to make sure you knew that I was opening this for the very first time with you. So I'm going to pour this now. I'm going to pour 3 ounces in the drink, because a good martini should always have 3 ounces of liquor in it.
3 ounces, absolutely.
I've got some ice in the stainless steel cup I'm using. Actually, I poured more than 3 ounces. That's going to be a big drink.
Ooh, have fun with that. Have fun with that.
Nevertheless,
I'll have a little.
Nevertheless, anyway, but so I did pour about ½ ounce of some olive juice, and what I'm using is blue cheese stuffed olives. So I'm changing the drink up a little bit.
Blue cheese stuffed olives are a big favorite of mine as well.
Oh, dropped some ice in there though. I didn't want to do that. Didn't get them strained as good as I like. Anyways, get that ice out of that drink. Okay. Amateurs. Anyway, here
all
we
good.
are. So here's a glass. I'm using this glass for the very first time. This is a glass my wife found for me.
Okay.
A couple weeks ago at a thrift store around the Joplin area.
Oh, very nice. I like that a lot. That's very nice. I've seen a couple versions of those. I've never had one. I wouldn't mind that myself.
Oh God, that's amazing. So typically, I like I said, before I make a cocktail with anything, when I pop a new bottle, I always taste it first, so I know about where the flavor profile is. But I want to do this one blind, just to see where it would end up. So I'm going to call this one the Dirty Irishman. I've got a little more than 3 ounces of some whiskey in here. I do have a solid ½ ounce of the olive juice, and I've got 2 blue cheese stuffed olives in there.
Nice. So there you go. No vermouth. You didn't do any vermouth. You just went with the.
So when I do it, yeah. So you can add some dry vermouth.
I would put dry in, yeah.
So, but for me, if I'm doing it dirty, I want it true and dirty. I don't want to add that vermouth. I just want the olive juice and whatever liquor I'm using,
That's fine.
whether it be
I've
vodka,
done it.
gin.
I've done it both ways.
Yeah.
And I don't say that tongue in cheek. I mean, just
I've been around, man.
No.
I do have a very good dry vermouth out there, but I want to do this one kind of pure. I want to taste just the whiskey with the olive juice.
Right. No, I would too. For especially like you said, especially the first time I'm having the whiskey. If I'm not having it straight just to taste it, I'm doing it that way too. So
without knowing what this whiskey was going to taste like or what it tastes like, I'm going to tell you this is rather spectacular. I will tell you this is a rum cask finish single malt Irish.
Nice.
Wow, that is amazing. I'm going to have to pour me just a little bit of this Irish now just so I can taste it on its own. But wow, that is incredible. So talk to me about your second cocktail there.
My second cocktail is very. It's an old fashioned, right? But it's the first drink I had with simple syrup, so it's an Amaro old fashioned. So
an Amaro old fashioned.
An Amaro old fashioned. So on this one, I used Hudson whiskey, Bright Lights Big Bourbon.
Hudson, okay, yeah.
All right.
We can get them here, but they're rather pricey in my neck of the woods.
Is it? I mean, it's not a super cheap whiskey by any means, but it's it should be a little low. I don't know what the pricey. I'm assuming based on you and I have discussed price points and all before. I'm guessing that it should be probably a little lower, but maybe that's distribution charges. So, that's the distributor in Missouri tacking on a couple of bucks, obviously.
A $3.75 of that in Missouri is what $7.50 really ought to cost. If that.
It makes sense. Yeah, no, it should be less than that. Then it should be for what this is. I'll talk to you off. I want to give pricing, away and everything. We'll talk off air, but yeah. So I did the Hudson whiskey. I did the same. I used the same Amaro, simple syrup, bitters, cherries, and of course a fresh orange slice. There you go. So there you go. Of course.
So out of curiosity, I had to pour myself just a little bit of this whiskey just to taste it by itself, and I will tell you the flavors of this Irish whiskey are amazing. It's a little spicier than most Irish. It's a little smokier than most Irish.
Really, I'd love to get about it. What is it again? Because I'm gonna actually write it down.
So here's the thing: what's odd about this is I can't get these in Springfield. I actually bought these in Joplin a couple of weeks ago. In Missouri, still in Missouri, I just can't get them here for some reason. But anyway, single malt Irish. I bought two bottles. Well, I bought two different versions of the Hyde single malt.
Nice, got it. Took a screenshot.
Good. Oh my God.
We're good.
So the reason I bought them though is because we were out there for St. Patrick's Day. So I'm going to buy.
Right, you went out on the trip. Yeah,
and I found Irish whiskey that I haven't had before, so I bought two bottles of different single malt.
Sure. Yeah. This is fantastic.
Oh God, that is insane. Anyway, so now this drink kind of makes sense because it's a little spicier than you expect an Irish whiskey to be. It's almost as spicy as a rye.
Nice. That's actually I like hearing that. I got to tell you this. What's different is I used a different bourbon. Okay. I used there's simple syrup in this. I used I used regular aromatic bitters in the Manhattan before, but I used orange bitters in this. I didn't use the black walnut. There's a reason I use the black walnut bitters. And you'll find out why when I have my third cocktail. But I didn't this one I had orange bitters in. So it's different bitters in it. Much more orange aroma. That's fantastic. The orange peel in that, again, nice and fresh. The cherries all bring it together. But the bourbon, like I said, it's a little bit of different bourbon. A little bit, you know what? I'm not going to say it's smoky because it's really not. Here, I'm just going to take a little whiff of the bottle. Yeah, it's a little bit more,
char, maybe?
A little bit of char, a little bit more char. Yeah, we'll say that. A little bit more char than the Texas, the Balcones was, which is fine, which I like. I enjoy that. So it's making it a different cocktail, right? So between the simple syrup, the char, and the bourbon, and the orange bitters, it really is it's almost a completely different cocktail that I'm drinking right now. But It's
So I have to
fantastic.
admit that I made a little bit of a faux pas a little earlier. Before we got started, I was supposed to pour my wife some wine, and I forgot.
And you forgot to pour her wine.
I forgot to get her wine before I started the video, so she came in here to have to get her own wine. But as she was looking out the window, there was an accident right outside our house here.
Oh, geez, that's not good. That's not good at all. Hope everybody's okay. Hopefully it's just.
Let's hope, yeah.
Hopefully it's just an insurance problem, and then it doesn't really put anybody out too much, and off they go.
So we live in a very quiet area. We don't really see that thing, but it was right out front there. So crazy.
We live in a quiet area too, except during the summer. Then it's really nuts here. Belmar, New Jersey is.
So I've heard stories about Jersey. I mean, are you guys like the Jersey Shore show? I mean,
no. Well, first of all, just in case there's anybody out there that really cares, and I know, Tom, I will obviously have this conversation with you, but in case there's anybody out there that's listening that actually cares, there's very few, or not very few. I'll say it like this: every single one of the characters on that TV show, The Jersey Shore, are from Long Island. Okay. They're not from New Jersey.
One of them are from Jersey.
No, that show is not reality. Okay, it's a reality show. No, it's not. No, it's
not. I've never watched an episode of the show.
No, I honestly, the only time I ever saw any episodes of the show is when I walked through the living room and one of my kids was watching it. But I got to be honest.
You were intentionally trying to make Jersey look bad.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, there are certain aspects of the show that are kind of true. As far as kids going down the shore, staying in a shore house with friends on their parents' dime, right? And just going to the gym, tanning on the beach, and partying at night.
But that was rather exaggerated, right?
It's very exaggerated, very exaggerated. But ironically, the main bar, and they went to many bars, but the main bar they always went to was a bar called DJ's. Okay. I live 6 blocks from DJ's.
Is that bar as bad as that show made it look?
No, not really. You go to DJ's during the day. There's older people there. I mean, older than us. There's older people there having food, drinks, and everything else. There's 2 bars in the area, DJ's and Bar Anticipation. They call it Bar A. They've been around forever. I was a kid and I went to those bars. Right. All right. So they've been around forever. But it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. Just a night. Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. Those are the nights where it's kids and it's partying, and it's during the summer too. During the off months, they're regular bars. That's fine. Yeah. Bar A actually has Sunday football, and and they have every screen. I have many TVs. They have every screen. Every game's on. There'll be fans of every team in that bar during the day, and they actually give you a free buffet.
Really? Wow.
Free buffet. And I don't just mean like burgers and dogs. They're doing pasta dishes, chicken dishes. Wow. 4 times a year they do a pig roast. It's amazing. And so if you're just out going and you're going to eat everything on the buffet, the only thing you're paying for is your drinks. That's it. They do a free buffet every Sunday for football.
So, gosh.
Yeah, it's good. But it's Memorial Day to Labor Day, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. That's it at those 2 bars. That's the only thing. And the beach is busy too. So it gets busy in this town. We need to park our cars by Friday morning and leave them there, or we don't have any parking.
So what I've learned from this conversation is that I should avoid Long Island.
No, that's not true either. They were actors from Long Island.
That was a joke, but yeah.
Yeah, no, there's beautiful areas. Long Island's beautiful. Long Island is gorgeous. That was a joke, though. The Jersey Shore is beautiful too. There's areas of Jersey Shore, like the Belmar Beach is beautiful, but there's areas of Jersey Shore is fantastic.
What's the point of these so-called reality shows to try to make areas look bad?
All right, you know how some. All right, here's how I describe it to people. Here's what I always say. You know how you're on Facebook or you're on somewhere on some social media venue on the internet, right? And there's somebody posts something that's going to make you click on it, and they call that clickbait.
Yeah.
Okay. They want you to look at what they're putting out there. All right.
Whether it's reality or not.
Right. Right. For instance, I'm a Giants fan. I know you're a Rams fan. I'm a Giants fan. whatchamacallit, they John Mara, the owner of the Giants,
Yeah.
was joking with Brian Daboll, the head coach of the Giants, won Coach of the Year, right? Last year, was joking with him, and he said, and he was just joking. He says, be careful. It's very easy to go from Bono to Bozo in like 2 seconds. You can do that really quick. Now, ironically, people actually are assuming that he was actually talking about Ben McAdoo from back in the day. What happened with him, right?
Yeah.
But he wasn't talking about. He wasn't putting down Brian Daboll, right? By any means, was not putting him down whatsoever. All day long, there have been media outlet after media outlet, and I'm including CBS Sports, has been putting up posts on Facebook. John Mara gave Brian Daboll an ultimatum. Be careful. It's very easy to go from Bono to. That's not what he said. He was busting. He was joking around with him.
Oh, God.
It's all about clickbait. So transfer that to reality shows. They want to give you, what's the they want to sensationalize things so that you watch. But it's not real. It's not real. It can be. It's
all these so-called.
It's a TV show. They're all scripted. They're all scripted. It's a TV show.
They take several takes to get that one take that gets the most.
Right. Whatever's the most outlandish thing that they can put on the air, that's the take they're going to use. That's it. It's all scripted.
So my question is, why do people watch this shit? I mean, how stupid do you have to be to watch these kind of shows?
Thank you. That's my answer to that question. Thank you.
So how many people did I just alienate with that particular statement?
I promise you, the majority, if not all, of the people that are ever going to watch or listen to this aren't that fit that mold aren't watching this.
Yeah, well, they're not my fan base. That's
no, not at all. They're agreeing with us. They're agreeing with us. So.
I mean, how stupid? I mean, seriously, how stupid you have to be to buy this shit?
It's stupid. It's just ridiculous. What are you gonna do? You know what though? I mean, it's all kids, right? And it started. I remember me personally. I'm sure you do too. I remember when MTV actually played music.
When the M actually stood for fucking music.
Music, right? Exactly.
That was the point of MTV. They were playing stuff that nobody else was doing.
Right.
And then now MTV is nothing but bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And these ignorant ass so-called reality shows.
I was up till 6 a.m. on August 1st, 1981.
Oh God, yeah.
Watching MTV.
Oh yeah.
I sat there and watched the launch. And I watched 6 hours of music videos.
So the first, I mean, I'm sure you know this, but the very first music video was
Video Killed the Radio Star by the Buggles.
Yeah, the Buggles. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What was the second video?
So who were the Buggles though is my question to you.
Buggles were Buggles were born out of ELO.
No, it was actually before. Yeah, Trevor Horn.
Trevor Horn,
and Jeff Daz, who
right,
went on to Asia fame.
Right, yeah, exactly. I saw Asia's first tour. I saw Asia's first album.
Oh God! So yeah. I had tickets on that tour, and they got canceled in my neck of the woods.
I saw Jeff, and Asia was Jeff Downs, Steve Howe,
from Yes. John Wetton on bass.
From Deep Purple.
UK.
UK, right? And then the drummer was.
Oh God, I should know that too.
Bill Bruford.
Bill Bruford, yeah.
Bill Bruford, yeah.
From Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So it was Yes. It was Yes King. It was Yes King Crimson.
Because so I was a wannabe keyboard player at the time, and Jeff Downs was a hero, man. That dude was amazing.
Oh, Jeff Downs was amazing. Yeah, no, he was great. But whatchamacallit? What was the second video on MTV?
Actually, I couldn't tell you. What was it?
Pat Benatar, You Better Run.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's some speculation, and I'm going to admit that just for the sake of this conversation, I'm going to search, because before I search, I think it was Little Susie's On the Up. I'm pretty sure that was the name of the song. That was the third video. I'm going to search. But the fourth video,
I actually think you're right.
pretty sure it was Little Susie's on the Up. But the fourth video, do you know what the fourth video was?
Go ahead.
It was The Who, You Better You Bet.
Oh, that would make sense. Yeah.
Mhm. So I'm going to just search.
I'm going to let you do that search. Oh, wow. That's incredible. When I was watching MTV about 15 years old, my dad thought I was going to hell in a handbasket. This generation is doomed. My dad, from that, my
Right.
dad was born in 22. He's that World War II greatest generation.
Mhm.
So I was a big disappointment with my long hair and my rock and roll aspirations.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Let me see what it
That was
is.
a very big disappointment. I became less of a disappointment as I got older, but anyway.
Looking.
So I got to tell you the story. Speaking of that, so my dad and I, from about 18 to 23, did not like each other at all.
18
We
to
had nothing
23.
in common. We just hated the air we breathed. Right.
Mhm.
There was nothing we liked about the other one. So I had to go to work with him one day. He was doing some work for my brother-in-law. So he said he wanted me to go with him. So I went with him, and I didn't want to be there. So I was rather pissed off in the first place. So I'm riding there in the truck with him, got the window down, and he's pissed off at me for having the window down because he's got his window down. There's too much air, so he orders me to order my window up. So I'm pissed off that I got to put my window up so we can have this window down. So I can't get any fucking air. So bottom line is we're both really pissed off at each other. So we get stopped at a light, and this Baja Bug pulls up with this guy with this green mohawk. And he looks at the guy with the green mohawk. He looks at me with my hair down to here, and how pissed off we are at each other at this particular moment. He looks out, looks at me, looks back at this guy, looks back at me, and he says, "Oh hell, I guess it ain't that bad." And I can roll my window down again. It was kind of one of those moments, right, where we're both kind of go, "Okay, all right, maybe we both need to ease up just a little bit."
Just
right?
a bit, right? Just a bit. Right?
Maybe it's not that bad. He could have a green fucking mohawk. That's worse than hair down to here.
Yep, just a bit. Oh, jeez. I was wrong, by the way.
Oh yeah. Okay. What do you got?
I said the fourth video is You Better You Bet. I knew that. The fifth video was Little Susie's on the Up.
Oh yeah. Okay.
The third video was She Won't Dance With Me from Rod Stewart.
Oh, I didn't know. I don't even remember that song.
I don't remember it either. Whatchamacallit? Just to round it, I'm gonna give you, just for this conversation, because we like to talk about music too. We've done music shows, right?
We do.
I'm gonna round out the top 10 for you.
All right.
Video 6 was We Don't Talk Anymore from Cliff Richard.
Yeah, Cliff Richard. Oh
Right.
yeah.
Number 7 was Brass in Pocket from the Pretenders.
Pretenders, yeah.
Which I saw about 3 months before I saw Asia at the same theater.
Oh wow.
That first concert, right?
I'm gonna post a comment right here from Dickie's Beer Reviews.
Go for it. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers, Dickie.
Man, thanks, man. I appreciate you watching us.
Whatchamacallit? Video number 8 was Time Heals from Todd Rundgren.
Oh wow.
I love that video.
Oh, that's a great tune.
That's a great song, great video. He did that video and that song. That was 100% Todd Rundgren. 100%.
Oh, that's a great tune. Oh,
he recorded all the music, did everything himself, and that video, he made that video himself on an Amiga computer back in 1981. Obviously, 1981. He did the whole thing. So that's a great song. I love that song. I listen to that song as often as I can today. Yeah, still. Video number 9 was Take It on the Run from REO Speedwagon. Yep. And
I saw them on that tour actually.
Oh, you did?
At the Forum in Inglewood, California. Yeah.
Very nice. I've seen REO Speedwagon, but I didn't see him on that tour.
I saw him on that tour, yeah.
And to round it out, video 10 was Rockin' the Paradise from Styx.
Oh, Styx! Oh my God, I had that album. I saw them on that tour too.
I saw them as well.
Oh man.
But
we covered a lot of the same ground.
We did.
Just in different sides of the country.
You know what? I hate to sound like an old man. I really, really do, because I don't want to sound like an old man. There's music that comes out today that I actually do like. All right. I don't go out of my way to maybe buy the CD or whatever. I mean, I have Apple Music. I have Apple Music anyway, so if I like a song, I could just pull it up on Apple Music, right? But you know, but those were songs. That was music. And for some years after that, and that wasn't just then, but some years after that, but certainly years before that, and going all the way back, even into the 50s. My father was a big, huge 50s fan. There's probably not there's very I'll say it like this. There's very few 50s songs that you can quote right now to me that I can't sing back to you. That's how much he was into the 50s. All right.
Oh wow.
But it's not the same anymore. I'm not an old man. I'm not. And people, my kids will tell me, but my kids actually, like my daughter, my oldest daughter, she loves 80s music and she loves the Beatles. Thank you. My younger daughter, she likes country music. Okay. And she likes some 80s. My son, I didn't want to get into, but in any event,
we all have our failures.
Right. But I mean, for a while he did like classic rock. He was listening to 80s music and classic rock, and then but that was in his early teens, and then kind of things switched. But in any event, my point being, I hate meaning to sound like an old man, but music has definitely changed over the last, over the last 20 years. Definitely the last 10 years.
You and I is I love sounding like an old man. I embrace it. And no, here's the thing, though. I think there is great music being made today. I think the however is it's not being played on commercial radio. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of great bands out there that you're just not able to hear because commercial radio only plays what they want you to hear.
Right. And I agree with that 100% too, because I'll tell you this right now. I heard not too long ago, you've heard the artist Lizzo?
Yeah.
The girl that plays the flute, right? And everything else, right? Okay. There's a lot of her songs that I really didn't, I didn't hate them. It's like, I'm not, turn it off. Oh, what's this shit? Like crotchety old man, get off my lawn, on that. I'm not that. But there's one song she did that I really like. And if it came on again, I actually have it on my Apple Music. I actually think it's a really good song. It never gets played. It never gets played. The stuff that's crappy, right? That's the stuff that gets played. I don't get it.
That's what commercial radio is, though. They spoon feed you certain shit they want you to hear.
Which is why I never, ever, ever have commercial FM radio on in my car. Ever. Well, it's AM radio for sports and Sirius XM. That's it.
Well, I listen, as much as I hate that Spotify doesn't pay as much as they should, for me, it's all, I like Spotify because I can be my own DJ. I can find the songs I want to find. I not only find the national artists, but I can find a lot of regional artists on Spotify that aren't anywhere else. They're not even on Apple Music.
They're not on Apple. No, none of those are Apple Music.
Yeah. I can find a lot of regional artists and I can make my own playlist because I am my best DJ.
Oh, absolutely. I am too. You know what else is good that's on Spotify, right?
What's that? Oh,
the Log Room Guys and the Log Room Guys and the Get On With It Sports podcast.
I also have my At the Pub podcast available on Spotify. But anyway, so cocktail number 3, what do you got going there, my friend?
I just wanted to suck the rest of the juice out of cocktail number 2. So cocktail number 3. All right, let me get my ice cubes in here. I'm going to tell you exactly.
All right, you grab that. I'm going to grab my third cocktail.
You got it. Grab your third cocktail. I'm going to get my ice in here. All right. I love this thing. Gets my ice cubes going without splashing and keeps them nice and cold and keeps them nice and frozen, actually. And there we go. I'm going to swirl that around just a bit. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Cocktail number 3. You ready for it?
I am. Tell me what you got.
It is my cocktail.
Your cocktail.
I invented it, and it's called the Johnny Nocino.
Okay. So what's in this?
Johnny Nocino, first of all, it's bourbon. And for this one, we use the Hudson Hudson whiskey again. Right, the Bright Lights, big whiskey, big bourbon. Okay. And I told you I was going to open it on the show. I opened it before the show because I wanted to prep the cocktail. But I haven't had it yet. Well, I can't say that I haven't had it yet. I had it at the distillery. I haven't had it out of this bottle yet. All right, but it's Ederine Distilling in.
Oh wow, I haven't had that.
And
Oh wow,
I texted you from there.
Rustic
Uh,
Nocino. Wow.
Rustic Nocino. It's a black walnut liqueur.
Oh god, that looks amazing.
It's fantastic. I had it down in Asheville when I was in Asheville. I texted you from there.
Yep.
And you dubbed me your spirit animal.
I did.
Your alcohol spirit animal, or your liqueur spirit animal, whatever it was. Your spirit's spirit animal. There you go.
Spirit's animal, yeah.
My spirit's animal.
Spirit's animal.
But in any way, in this it's a Johnny Nocino.
So Dickie's Beer Reviews had a comment for you. I'm a Bills and Yankees fan.
You're a Bills Yankees fan. Okay, fair enough. I am a Giants Mets fan, so we don't.
So
but
fuck off.
I will tell you, right? No. I'll say it like this: as a Mets fan, I don't hate the Yankees. I really don't hate the Yankees. I've never hated the Yankees. I've never hated anybody on the Yankees. I will actually root for the Yankees. The only time I will not root for the Yankees is when they're playing the Mets. Fair enough, right? Honestly, I've been to games at Yankee Stadium. I caught in 1978. I caught a Reggie Jackson foul ball during batting practice at a Yankees-Royals game.
Oh, really? Wow.
And I'm a Mets fan. Go figure, right?
So I'm a diehard Dodger fan because I grew up in Southern California, so I fucking hate the Yankees.
Right, of course. Well, I'll be honest. My father grew up a Giants fan, baseball Giants fan,
yeah.
right?
So he hates the Dodgers
because he hates the Dodgers, right? He never hated the Yankees. In fact, he liked the Yankees. Yeah, I mean,
because they beat the fuck out of the Dodgers.
But they were playing like in the 40s and 50s. They were winning, right? So now he's still a Giants fan, but he liked the Yankees. He watched the Yankees too. You want to call him a Giants and Yankees fan? Like you want to call him a Giants fan that his American League team was the Yankees? You want to say that? That's fine.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So when the Giants moved to San Francisco and the Dodgers moved to LA, he didn't want to become a California baseball team fan. Right. So he kind of floundered around a little bit, just continuing to watch the Yankees locally. Right. But he started watching the Mets when the Mets started in 1962. Granted, they sucked for the first 8 years.
But then you had 69.
Then you had 69. So he was obviously his fandom rose a little bit in 69. But it's a new fandom, right? Because he watched the Mets because they kind of replaced the Giants and Dodgers, really. They replaced both National League teams. In fact, they took their colors. They took the Dodger blue and the Giants orange, and that's their colors. But they, so he watched them, but it was a new fandom. So he still watched the Yankees. He still liked the Yankees, even though he really wasn't like a real Yankee fan. He was originally a Giants fan, but that fandom kind of faded because they were in San Francisco now. So his fandom of the Mets kind of, worked its way into my fandom, but he kind of kept watching the Yankees. So my father is more of a Yankees fan he's more of a Yankees fan that likes the Mets. I'm a Mets fan that, I can't say I like the Yankees. I don't hate the Yankees. I'll root for the Yankees. I'll still go to a Yankee game. My son's a Yankees fan. My son was born the day that the Mets beat the Cardinals in 2000 to go to the World Series against the Yankees. Okay. In fact, he was born about a half an hour after the Mets beat the Cardinals to go to the World Series. The first words I ever spoke to him were, "Jonathan, the Mets are going to the World Series." And he started screaming, crying. And I said in the delivery room, I said, "Son of a bitch, another Yankee fan." And sure enough, he's a Yankee fan. Right?
Oh man!
Anyway, that aside, but I'm a Mets fan. I don't hate the Yankees. I'm root for the Yankees. And the Bills, I like the Bills. We faced the one time we faced them that counted. We won.
Yeah.
Hashtag Scott Norwood, but that's besides the point. You got
to feel sorry for Kelly, don't you?
Yeah, of course. Oh yeah.
I mean, great quarterback.
But
could pull the trigger.
Yeah, definitely. Four Super Bowls in a row. Obviously, and the one he probably should have won was against the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, you kept going, damn, he's got to win one of these, doesn't he? I mean, he's
What are
a
you gonna
great
do?
quarterback, but it seemed like
Tim-
that he was never quite at
Thurman
his
Thomas. That
best.
whole team was amazing. Thurman Thomas was an
Yeah.
amazing running back. Andre Reed, Bruce Smith. I mean, all of them. That whole team was amazing. It really was. That was an amazing Super Bowl. The best Super Bowl ever, as far as I'm concerned. Super Bowl 25 was the best Super Bowl ever.
So what is
Came
your
down to
first
the wire.
cocktail, Johnny?
There we go. Enough sports. There you go. So, but Dickie's beer reviews.
Segue.
Cheers to your Bills and Yankees fandom. There you go. Right? Seriously, cheers to it. There you
Fuck you all. Anyway,
go. There you
well,
go.
what is
Anyway.
your third cocktail?
My third cocktail, like I said, is a Johnny Nocino. I
Okay.
dubbed it a Johnny Nocino. It's my
Okay.
cocktail.
Explain what this is.
It is 1 part bourbon.
What part bourbon?
Well, it's 2 parts bourbon, but it's bourbon, the rustic the Hudson whiskey,
Hudson whiskey. Gotcha,
Hudson
gotcha,
whiskey. It is the rustic Nocino from Eda Rhine Distilling in Asheville, North Carolina. It is a half a teaspoon of brown sugar.
Oh, brown sugar. Okay.
Brown sugar, a full teaspoon of maple syrup,
Okay.
and 2 cherries.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
There you go. That's my cocktail right there, and it's in my, if you can read it, the Godfather glass. There you go. See it right there. My sister-in-law. I'm her 4th son's godfather, so she bought me this glass.
Oh, very nice.
So
That's very nice.
Oh, it's fantastic. That's
So
why I
I'm
didn't.
having-
That's why I didn't have black walnut bitters in the old fashioned, because I was having the black walnut liqueur in this.
So I've got a version of a Manhattan going on here. As you can see, the glass, very Manhattan kind of glass.
Mhm.
But the whiskey I'm using here is a little bit different. I decided to use the Ben Holiday because I like to go as local as humanly possible.
Of course.
So I've got the Holiday Missouri Straight Bourbon Whiskey, bottle and bond. This is out of Weston, Missouri, so it's just a little bit north of Kansas City. It's 100 proof whiskey. So I've got about 3 ounces of the whiskey. Oh God, that's gorgeous. I'm using the cherry bitters though.
Nice.
But instead of a sweet vermouth,
Fee Brothers.
I've replaced the sweet vermouth with this Keltoy Celtic Goddess. So it is basically a port-like wine. It's not. They don't describe it as a port, but they call it a port-like.
Port-like wine.
At 18%.
More
So
foreshadowing to the port show next week.
Yeah, just a little bit. It is an 18% fortified wine.
Nice. That's fantastic. Oh, this is nice.
Good gravy.
This
man.
this rustic Nocino is fantastic.
That sounds. I'm gonna have to. You're gonna have to send me the
All right.
version. I'm gonna have to recreate that here. So
I will send it to you. I mean, you can get it. You can get Nocino anywhere. I mean, you can definitely get a Nocino. Nocino is an Italian black walnut liqueur. Okay.
So Jersey Johnny, is that your ancestry? Mostly Italian?
I'm half Italian. My mother was Italian. My mother's grandparents came over from my mother's 4 grandparents came over from all 4 of them came over from Italy.
What's your other half?
My other half, my father is mostly German, but I have a little Scottish and Irish. One of my father's grandparents was half Scottish, half Irish.
So that's my ancestry is mostly Irish on one side, mostly German on the other side. So I got mostly Irish and German.
There you go. I'm half Italian. I always say, just because it makes it easier, 3/4 German and then an 1/8 Irish and an 1/8 Scottish. It's not. It's like a 32nd Irish and a 32nd Scottish. But it just makes it easier. So,
but you got mostly Italian, right?
but the most is Italian. Yeah, the most is Italian. So
you seem to have a lot of Italian features.
I do. Yeah, I definitely resemble my mother more than I do my father. So
I tend to think I take more after the Irish side because I like to be in a pub and I've never wanted to invade Poland.
There you go. That's it. But I'm pumped. I just did that too.
There we go.
But
Thanks for playing.
Yeah, but I did get my blue eyes from my father though, so I got them going.
Blue eyes, there we go. I got mine are green.
There you go.
Which is very Irish.
Cheers, very Irish, absolutely.
Could be German too, but then again, I'm not mean, so.
No, this.
I tend to pick on the Germans, but I do like the food.
Oh, I love the food, and we may actually be. Dave and I are actually working with a gentleman right now and we're trying to put together. Don't know it's going to happen, so don't quote me on it. It's the first time actually saying it. We haven't. We've like danced around saying it on the log room, guys. Nothing's going to come. Nothing's coming to pass. But we might actually be doing some tours. Might actually be doing some trips.
That would be awesome.
Going over going over there. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of the food. I actually have my last name. There's actually a town in German. If you add en onto my last name, it's the name of a town in Germany. Now,
wow.
Yeah. Now, and I've said this to many people over the years, right? And they're saying, they named the town after your family? No, they named my family after the town. Let's call it what it is, right?
Yeah.
But whatchamacallit? It's about, I think it's about 100 miles northwest of Munich.
Oh wow. Okay.
Would be the town, yeah. So yeah, but when we do get over to Munich, I will take a day and rent a car and drive up to my town, right? And go check it out, right? And see how much like royalty I get treated, right? So we'll see. But we'll see. But yeah, the food is fantastic. The beer is second to none. I love my German ancestry. I love my Italian ancestry. And speaking of my Italian ancestry, leading us back to the Nocino, it's kind of like a Christmas liqueur, right? Nocino is like a Christmas liqueur. It's a liqueur made from herbal botanicals and black walnuts, green black walnuts, green, like not they're not cooked, right? They're not roasted black walnuts.
Yeah.
It's not a liqueur made from roasted black walnuts. It's made from the green black walnuts. That's what the Nocino's made from. But it's fantastic. It's delicious. So, and I really like this. I like this recipe. It came together really well. I'll send it to you. Definitely recreate it. Grab a bottle of Nocino somewhere. 1 part bourbon, 1 part Nocino, half a teaspoon of brown sugar, full teaspoon of maple syrup, 2 cherries. Done. Ice.
So having said all that, I mean that is kind of what makes Americans different, right? Is the hyphenates, right? Other countries really don't have hyphenates.
Nope. No, you're right. Absolutely.
So we Americans, because unless you're a Native American, we all came from somewhere else. So we all kind of cling to whatever culture we came from.
Right.
So I remember hearing something about, people in France, well, they don't have hyphenates. So if you're not from France, you're not French. But if you're not necessarily born here, you can still be an American.
Absolutely. No, you can still be an American. It's not hyphenates. You're absolutely right. That's not the word.
So how is that? I guess it seems like a lot of, I'm trying real hard not to get into politics here, but it seems real hard.
Well, we are on the third drink.
As I promised, but I'm not going to get into politics, I promise. But it does seem interesting that a lot of folks want to kind of draw conclusions, right? Mm-hmm. We're all here. We all came from somewhere else. Why is it so hard to acknowledge that other folks want to continue?
Right. Yeah. We all came here. Why can't everybody else continue to come here? Right. That's what you're saying. But no, I agree. I agree with you on the not getting into politics things, because look, here's the thing. And I'm not going to get into politics specifically. Follow me here. You'll see where I'm going, and you'll agree.
I will.
You'll agree. Okay. 20 years ago, and longer, of course, but 20 years ago and back, maybe a little longer, 20, 25 years ago and back. You can get into a political conversation with somebody and talk about each other's beliefs, listen to the other side, and still have a drink and walk away from it with a little more knowledge. Each of you with a little more knowledge, right? To a point, right? Now it's harder to do that because certain people, we'll leave it alone, certain people don't want to feel the same way, right? And it's a shame. It really is. And social media is a big part of that. And I really believe it's a huge part of that. I'm of the older sect where I can have a conversation with somebody that has the exact opposite political beliefs than me, with the exact opposite religious beliefs than me, with the exact opposite any beliefs than me. And I can have a conversation with them and learn a little about where they're coming from, and they can learn a little bit of where I'm coming from, and we can walk away not fighting. But that's I don't want to say it's my upbringing. I mean, it is, but I don't want to say that.
It is. It really is. It
Yeah,
actually
but
is. But yeah.
right. You know, it's all I'm going to say, and I'm stopping this. It's a shame. I feel bad for now, right? So anyway,
And here we are without.
cheers to us being older.
Yeah. Oh hell! It just doesn't matter, does it? I mean,
It doesn't. It really, really doesn't. It really, really doesn't. I mean,
I want to get into Bill Murray for Meatballs. It just doesn't matter.
It just doesn't matter.
Because the rich guys are still going to get the girls. You're not going to get laid, and that's just the way it is.
Exactly. Well, I mean, he did walk into that party and say, virgins to the left, non-virgins to the right.
It just doesn't matter. Yeah.
And by the way, I just want you to know that even in my third cocktail, I was smart enough to know that because of the camera being reversed, I had to go to my left to say right and my right to say left.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. And I consciously knew that. So
I would have never figured that shit out.
But this is fantastic. I gotta sing it. I gotta sing it a recipe for this. You gotta pick up a bottle of Nocino. I'm gonna get that's where I was gonna go. All right.
Oh yeah,
I know it's probably about a 5-hour ride for you.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be in Nashville. How far is Nashville?
Really?
I'm gonna be in Nashville for probably 7 days, six days.
Well, when are you gonna be there?
Beginning of May.
Oh, May. Okay.
For the Craft Brewers Conference.
All right. Okay.
All right. I'm actually coming through Asheville. We're on our way to. We're driving. We're not going to fly. We're driving on our way because we want to stop. We want to make a couple stops on the way.
Nashville's about 8 hours for me.
8 hours. Okay. I was going to say if you could find a way to make the trek to Nashville, we can go to a couple of the after parties in the Craft Brewers Conference, but through coming through Asheville, I'll stop at Eder Rhine Distilling and pick you up a bottle of this.
Yeah. Okay. So
and then you can meet me and I'll give it to you. There you go.
So send me the exact dates. If I can get out there, can you get me on that list?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, you can get into it.
Oh, I'm all in. I'm all in. Because my birthday is May 24th.
There you go. And that's Bastille Day, right?
Yeah, for the French Canadians.
For the French Canadians, right? It was like a friend of mine I graduated high school with. His birthday is May 21st, May 24th too. And there's a Rush song on Caressa Steel, their third album. So it was 1975. And it's called Lakeside Park. And it says we sit and watch the fireworks display. The lyrics, we sit and watch the fireworks display on the 24th of May. That's Bastille Day. And there's a song on that album too called Bastille Day, right? So
there is, yeah.
Whatchamacallit? So that's so I always piece together that it's Bastille Day and there's fireworks on the 24th of May in Canada.
So we were touring through. I was working with a circus. We're touring through Ontario. It's not quite French Canadian, but very close. I
mean Quebec and everywhere else is, but Ontario, it's there. It is, which is ironically because
there's a lot of French Canadians in Ontario. But anyway,
there are.
We're turning up through there, and I started singing that song. I started singing the exact song you were, and two French Canadians walked up to me and says, "Are you from here?" I said, "No, I'm an American." I said, "Oh, don't tell anybody else that."
Yeah, keep that to yourself, right? Ironically, Samurai is actually going up to Montreal Memorial Day weekend, trying to figure out how to get up there because, I mean, he's going to Duduchiel.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I mean, honestly, I would go to Montreal and just eat my weight in poutine and drink my weight in a bunch of Duduchiel beers and then drive home. That's all I would do, right? but I don't know that we're going to be able to get up there. But there's a lot going on a few weeks before that, and a bunch going on the week after that. So I don't know if I could squeeze in a trip to Canada in between all of that. But
well, I got to be honest with you. If I was going to Canada, I would rather go to BC.
Right. Oh, I would too. I'd rather go over to Vancouver. Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
If I had my brothers about, Tom, you're going to Canada. Where do you want to go? I'm going to Vancouver, Dad. Because it's not as cold and the people aren't quite as bizarre.
Right. We're actually going to, we're planning, it's probably not going to be next year, it'll probably be the year after, but we're planning a cruise, an Alaskan cruise. We're going to fly, we're going to fly to Seattle, spend a little time in Seattle, and then get on a ship, and we're going to cruise to Alaska, take the Alaskan cruise, the whole thing. And then when I come back, they always have to hit, the Alaskan cruises always have to hit Vancouver, but we're going to disembark in Vancouver, and the cruise will continue, and we'll stay in Vancouver for a little bit and fly home from Vancouver.
So that's kind of the thing here is my wife has always wanted to do a Alaskan cruise. So this year will be our 29th anniversary. I'm hoping to be able to do something on our 30th to do that as well.
Yeah. Well, if it comes together, maybe we can do the same one.
That would be awesome.
That'd be awesome. That'd be great.
So how are you coming on your third cocktail?
I'm maybe about 3 minutes away from finishing it. I might pour a little bit more Amaro with a little more ice I have. And I actually saved the orange peel and the cherries out of the old fashioned glass so that I could pour a little more Amaro in there with some ice. So thinking ahead, always thinking. It's not just a hat rack, my friend.
Mercy. Anyways, want to thank my friend Jersey Johnny for joining me for this cocktail show. You guys know me. I'm Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of the man. That's your cue.
That's my cue.
Whiskey and
Jersey Johnny.
And all around good guy.
Oh, and all around good guy. Oh, I thought you were going to finish with that. That's why I kept it quiet, because you wanted to say that, right? An all around good guy.
And all
around good guy. Of course, he's an all around good guy. He's an all around good guy.
One more time. I am Tom the Beer Whisperer. I'm Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and
all around good guy.
Take two worked.
Take two work better. There you go.
All right. So what do you got there, my friend? How are we finishing up?
I'm finishing this up with.
Oh, there we go.
That was delicious, and I'm going to pour just a little bit more of the Amaro.
There you go.
This Amaro is fantastic. Like I said, the next time I get up to Boston, I'm going to get you a bottle of this and get it to you.
Oh yeah.
You have to taste this. You'll know exactly what I mean when I say this is friggin-tastic. This Amaro. I'm going to throw a nice little ice cube in there, and I'm going to have myself a nice little wrap up to this fantastic cocktail show that we just did. So, there we go. I want to, there it is.
There we go.
Look at that. There we go. Perfect.
Isn't that beautiful?
Look at that Amaro. I mean, look at the color in that. I mean, it's so dark.
Chartreuse,
it's amazing.
Right?
Yes.
Chartreuse.
Amazing. So good. I mean, that when I had it, I actually had a cocktail when I first had this Amaro. It's the Rhubarb Amaro. They make another Amaro. They make a regular Amaro, but they make the Rhubarb Amaro. When I first had it, I had like two cocktails with them, sitting at the bar at Bully Boy Distilling in South Boston, in the Dorchester section of Boston, Southie they call it. All right. I had two. I had a couple of cocktails with it in there, and it was fantastic. I'm like, I need a little bit of that. I need a little bit straight. I mean, you give it to me what 1 cube, whatever, and I tasted it just like I'm doing it right now. I'm like, that's fantastic. I took 3 bottles home. I was like, 3, give me 3. Just bring them up. But this place, Bully Boy Distilling, they do amazing stuff. They do an amazing old fashioned. Like they'll actually do an old fashioned flight. So there's 3 different style old fashions. and you can order it a 3 old-fashioned flight. But they do an old-fashioned. They're old-fashioned, the regular, just standard, solid, typical, classic old-fashioned. They actually make one that they actually bottle. So they'll take their bourbon and they'll put it in oak barrels with Luxardo cherries, orange peel, no simple syrup. No. Luxardo cherries, orange peel, and aromatic bitters. No simple syrup. There's no simple syrup in it. And they'll rest it. They'll finish the bourbon in there for a few months actually, and then they bottle it, and they call it their old fashioned. They actually I still have the bottle here. I have a little bit left in it. That's the newest one I got, Bully Boy, the old fashioned.
Wow, that's incredible! Wow.
And they'll actually bottle it, and it's fantastic. They do a few others too, but they have so many different liqueurs and so many different spirits that they do. It's a fantastic distillery, and there's a couple of really good distilleries in Boston too, up in Everett, in the Boston area, up in Everett, Massachusetts, which is about 3 miles north of Boston proper, right near my favorite brewery in Massachusetts, which is Night Shift. Literally across the street and around the corner is called Short Path, and they do amazing.
Wow.
They do amazing. They do amazing cocktails as well. The next time you and I do something after next week, I have a couple of. I have a couple of liqueurs from them that you can drink. I mean, they make a bourbon barrel aged triple sec. Now, triple sec is a mixer, right? And it's a liqueur, but it's a mixer, right? They do a bourbon barrel. They do a bourbon barrel aged triple sec that you can drink straight. You can drink it straight or on the rocks. That's how good this thing is. So the next time you and I do a cocktail show, or a spirit show, whatever you want to call it, after next week, obviously next week's port. Next week we're doing port. Yeah. But I'll have that on there. It's so good. So I get it next time I go up to Boston. I get you a couple of these. I'm gonna send you a nice care package.
Well, I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, Pereira's the band. I want to thank Jersey Johnny for joining me on this show. Oh God, these cocktails were amazing, man! Right?
Oh yeah, great night tonight. Great cocktails.
Oh, mercy, Percy. Ship biscuits. All around good guy.
All around good guy. You got it.